Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here today. I'm George Lahannis, City Manager for the City of East Lansing. I'm joined by our Police Chief, Kim Johnson, Police Captain Chad Pride, and our Mayor, Ron Bacon. We're here today to provide a briefing on the officer-involved shooting that happened on Monday, April 25th, and to release video footage of that incident. First and foremost, and on behalf of the entire City of East Lansing, our thoughts continue to be with the young man who was shot during the incident, and we continue to hope for a fast and speedy recovery for him. Our thoughts are also with the family and friends of the recovering individual. Witnesses at the scene and community members at large, we know this has been a difficult time. We're releasing the video footage today as a part of our commitment to transparency and to honor the East Lansing Independent Police Oversight Commission's request that the video footage be released within 7 days of their meeting last Thursday. As the situation remains under investigation, we want to stress that we are not able to discuss specific details of the case at this time. The two involved officers remain on paid administrative leave while the investigation is underway. The video footage, which contains footage from the Myers store where the situation happened, and the body cam footage from the involved officers, is only one piece of the evidence being reviewed by the Michigan State Police as a part of their third-party investigation. We don't at this time have access to the other evidence, as the investigation was immediately taken over at the scene by Michigan State Police. It is by design that a third-party investigative team was immediately brought in and to ensure that there isn't a conflict of interest and that the investigation remains fair and impartial for all parties involved. We are confident that the team of Michigan State Police detectives working on this case are taking every measure to ensure all evidence and facts are accurately collected and documented, and the East Lansing Police Department is cooperating fully with that independent investigation. We want to reassure community members that we are listening and that we are committed to doing the right thing in terms of process to ensure that we get the answers that are needed, make decisions accordingly, and ultimately move the community forward. As City Manager, I want to let the community know that we are committed to operating with full transparency. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to our Police Chief, Kim Johnson.
Good afternoon. Thank you, City Manager Lahannis, and thank you to everyone for being here today. I know how troubling this situation has been for our community. As Chief of the East Lansing Police Department, I want everyone in our community to know that we are taking this situation very seriously. As law enforcement officers, our top priority is keeping this community safe at all times. I know the facts have been slow to come out about this incident, and we appreciate the community's ongoing patience. However, it's critical to me and to our community that this situation be handled correctly. That's why I request the Michigan State Police to conduct an independent investigation of this officer-involved shooting. Upon Michigan State Police completion of their investigation, the case will be turned over to the Attorney General's office for a full review. After the Attorney General completes their review of the case, the East Lansing Police Department will then conduct our own internal investigation into the actions of the officers in this case. As we await the results of the Michigan State Police investigation, I want to note that there are some steps that are already being taken in direct response to this incident. We are currently identifying and reviewing our policies and procedures that directly pertain to this incident. We will continue to work with key stakeholders such as the East Lansing Independent Police Oversight Commission and provide updates to the community as they become available. After the investigations are completed, we are prepared to engage in relevant policy discussions with these stakeholders and our community and work to address any concerns that are raised. We have been in contact with the attorney of the involved individual to provide him access to the video footage prior to today's press conference. Building public trust means remaining present in challenging times, engaging in tough conversations, and being transparent as possible with our community members. We are releasing the video footage of the incident here today as part of our commitment to transparency. However, I want to remind you that it is an ongoing investigation being completed by the Michigan State Police. And I want to reiterate that we are limited with the information and details that can be shared today. We are releasing this video now after lengthy consultations with various stakeholders in this case. Before we play the videos, I want to caution that these videos contain explicit language and graphic visuals, and viewers' discretion is strongly advised. I must also state again that we are not here to disclose any new information or answer questions about the independent criminal investigation, as that information is not available to us. We are here to release the information that we have at this time, which is the video footage of the incident. Individuals are always presumed innocent until proven guilty of a crime, and at this time, none of the individuals involved in this incident have been charged with any criminal wrongdoing. I'm now going to turn things over to Police Captain Chad Pride of the East Lansing Police Department, who will walk us through the video footage.
Thank you, Chief Johnson. This critical incident debriefing will provide you with information about the April 25th officer-involved shooting. The Michigan State Police will conduct their own investigation, and the Michigan Attorney General's office will review that investigation after its completion. All individuals are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. These investigations require multiple witness interviews, review of video footage, and analysis of significant amounts of evidence. The first 3 videos shown in this briefing were captured from Myers surveillance cameras. The remaining videos were captured by body-worn cameras from ELPD officers. East Lansing Police Department body-worn cameras are placed near the center line of the officer's outer vest carrier. It is important to note the camera lens is fixed in one position and does not capture all that is seen by the human eye. Materials presented in these videos have been redacted to protect the privacy rights of the individuals involved. Such redactions do not affect the depiction of the events presented in these videos. This redacted video is raw footage of the incident. Redactions will consist of faces, license plates, identification pieces of officers, and minors. There is no audio for the Myers surveillance camera. The audio from the body-worn cameras during the incident has also been redacted in certain areas of the video. We will not draw conclusions about whether the individuals involved acted consistent within the law, our policies, and our training until all the facts are known and the entire investigation is complete. On Monday, April 25th, at approximately 6:36 p.m., ELPD officers were dispatched by the Ingham County 911 Dispatch Center on a weapons complaint at the Myers store located at 1350 West Lake Lansing Road. The timeline for this incident: the officers were dispatched to the scene at 6:36 p.m. The officers arrived at the scene at the Myers store at 1350 West Lake Lansing at 6:43 p.m. The first initial radio traffic reference to the shots fired was called out to dispatch by ELPD officers at 6:46 p.m. Medical attention was given to the individual by the officers at 6:47 p.m. And East Lansing Fire Department arrived on scene at the Myers store at 6:52 p.m. to take over medical care. What you're about to hear is the call from the Ingham County 911 Dispatch Center dispatching ELPD officers to the scene.
Lansing on a weapons complaint. It's going to be at 1350 West Lake Lansing Road, 1350 West Lake Lansing Road at the Myers. I have a caller that advised for a 20-year-old black male. He was wearing a yellow and black jacket with a mask covering his whole face except his eyes. Pulled a gun out of his car and went inside the store. The caller advised him to accuse walked in through the grocery side. He's not threatening anybody with it. I'm just walked inside the store. It sounds like the accused was in a silver Chevy Equinox. He's Lansing Command clear.
10-4, we're all now.
Warning, the video content that you are about to see contains explicit language and graphic visuals that may be uncomfortable or traumatizing to watch. Viewer discretion is advised. Please note that mental health resources will be available for those in need due to the graphic nature of these videos. What you are about to see is 3 videos from the Meyer surveillance system. Again, all 3 videos do not have sound. If you would, looking at the video, the vehicle in question that I want to point it out to everyone is the silver SUV that pulled in and now backed up. That silver SUV is going to pull into a parking spot, and an individual is going to exit out of that vehicle. Once that individual exits out the vehicle, they start to go towards the front of the Meyer store. They then return back to the vehicle, open the driver's side door, and then go back inside the Meyer store. This next camera view from the Meyer store is as the officers as well as the individual exit out of the store and are going through the parking lot from your left to your right. So if you could view to the left of this screen, you will then see the officers as well as the individual running through the parking lot. This video that you're going to see now is, again, the exiting out of the store. This video is a zoomed in version of after the individual exits and the officer exits. prior to the individual making the turn in the parking lot going back towards the silver SUV. The next 4 videos we're going to watch are officer body-worn camera videos. Again, there is explicit language in these videos.
Okay, go on, ready to
Get on the ground! Get on the fucking ground! Get on the ground! You're ready to chase! Get on the fucking ground! He's reaching! He's reaching! He's got a gun! Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! Get on the fucking ground! Stop!
shots fired. Stand forward, ready to what's your target, please? I need more units here. More units here. Okay, you're at the Equinox, but are you out at the Applebee's with the accused subject?
Stop!
Do not shoot him!
Who is he?
I don't know! Don't shoot! Don't chase him! Shoot him! Put him in my
Do
face!
you have the subject out at Applebee's? That is fine, right?
Crazy!
Yep, they're around. They need to come to Applebee's, right?
Do you know this guy?
No!
We're starting medical right now. Just get an ambulance here, please. He's called to us. We're starting medical.
Shot!
I don't know.
Okay, medics on route. The caller said that the vehicle is still in the parking lot, occupied currently by a black female lived in and started the car. Okay. On somewhere.
Okay, can you just tell me what row it is? Do you know? Right by the front entrance, that's the fresh entrance? Okay, thank you.
Silver in color.
RP just pulled up next to me. Says that the Equinox is parked right in that row in front of the fresh entrance.
from the side, all flesh.
Back up, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up. Hey! Let me see your fucking hands! Let me see your fucking hands! Run! Run! Down, down! Hey! You're in a fucking cage! Running. Black male, white jacket, black pants, blue jeans. Going westbound towards Applebee's.
Westbound towards Applebee's.
He's got a gun! He's got a gun! He's got a gun! He's got a gun! It's fine.
Two shots fired.
Get on the fucking ground!
Shots fired. Put it down. Put it down. Slowly back.
Hey!
Down.
Let me see your fucking hands! Hands!
Turn back to medic station.
Let me see your fucking hands!
For medic station,
Where's the gun? Where's the gun?
I need more units here. More units here. You're,
Hey!
okay, you're at the
Come to
Equinox, but are you out at the
Come to
Alpha
Equinox.
with the accused subject?
I got him, I got him.
You shot me 2 times.
Cover.
Are you at the subject on the Applebee's?
Alright, look for
Yes,
it.
you're about to get from the Applebee's, right?
You just shot me. Stop fucking touching my wound. You
Where's he?
shot me 2 times, bro.
We're starting medical right now. Just get it, everyone here, please. Please don't stop. We're starting medical. Okay, medics are well.
Search for a gun.
It's a gun.
The gun.
We're in Applebee's, are you ready? In the
I
front
found the
parking
gun on
lot.
that side.
Roll on your side, bud.
I can't.
Roll on your side.
Oh.
Let me see.
What's the light wound looks like?
Okay.
You got hit in the
Hey,
chest.
where else are you shot? Where else are you shot? Listen, where else are you shot? Alright, give me a second. You got some
I'm sorry, you
scissors?
have to come in. Go ahead.
Okay. Exit wound? Give me a second. I can't see an exit wound on this side. Okay. Give me a second. I got a chest wound here. Hey, listen, buddy. You're gonna be okay. You gotta tell me where else are you shot, man.
Stay right there.
Really shot me, bro.
Units out with the subject in the scene, secure for the medics to come straight to him. Yeah, 10-4, bring your medics in, please.
Hey, guys.
Separate. Be in the minor slot by section B.
I saw
Okay,
him
so
with the
he's
gun.
out in the minor slot near section B.
Where else is he shot? Let me see. Let me see. Did you check on this side to see if there's any other entrance wound on this side? Hey, buddy, you gotta stay with me, man. What's your name? Hey, stay with me, buddy. What's your name? Hey. You gotta stay with me.
That is 10-9.
Chest applied. Gunshot wound to the abdomen. Another gunshot wound to the right leg.
Medics can come in.
Okay, one to the abdomen, one to the right leg.
Yeah, high and tight, high and tight. Hey, buddy, come on, man. Stay with me. Stay with me. Come on. Hey, hey, come on. Breathe. It's all right. Breathe.
Keep breathing.
You gotta tell me where else you're shot, okay?
Material? This is gonna hurt, bud. What?
Yeah, we're good.
You guys keep talking about it.
No.
Where that pistol is at?
He had the pistol. He had it like on I couldn't see, man. I just saw him with it. He had it out.
We just need scene security. That's it.
Okay, just.
Hi, Steve.
Than just a Ford or a Chevy Equinox.
Yes, it does want to check Chevy Equinox. Says that the vehicle is still in the parking lot. Occupied county-wide black female that's in this part of the car.
Okay. So we gotta find that car is what we gotta do.
In the slot somewhere. We need guys on the vehicle. Black Equinox?
Silver.
Just have to go one more time.
Oh, sure, really.
He's gonna go right to the access. Where's he at? Shots fired. Shots fired. Subject down. Subject down. Roll EMS. Roll EMS. Stay in the car! Stay in the car. Do not move. Do not move. Roll over. Roll over. Roll over on your stomach. Roll over on your stomach. I need more units here. I need more units here to the Equinox. Get on her. Put your hands right behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
You shot me 2 times. You shot me 2 times, bro. I just got shot 2 times. Alright, look for it. You just shot me. Stop fucking touching my wound. You just shot me 2 times, bro.
Right now.
I can't.
Alright, okay, thanks.
Let's search for a gun.
Is it gun?
Where's the gun? He dropped it over there. I saw him with a gun on that side.
Roll on your side, bud.
I can't.
Yeah, you can. Roll on your side.
Let me see.
That's all a light wound looks like.
Okay.
You got hit in the chest.
Where else are you shot? Where else are you shot? Where else are you shot?
Y'all just shot me in my leg and my head. Y'all just really shot me.
Exit wound. Give me a second. I can't see an exit wound on this side. Okay. Give me a second.
I can't breathe.
Hey, listen, buddy. You're gonna be okay. You gotta tell me where else are you shot, man.
I can't breathe. This is really shot me, bro.
Fire units out with the subject in the scene, secure for the medics to come straight to him. Yeah, 10-4, bring the medics in, please.
Hey, guys.
Pepper. We're gonna be in the minor slot by section B.
I saw
Okay,
him
so
with the
he's
gun on
out
his
in the
side.
minor slot in section B.
Where else is he shot? Let me see.
In the leg. I
Let me
get
see.
a tourniquet.
Did you check on this side to see if there's any other entrance wound on this side? Hey, buddy, you gotta stay with me, man. What's your name? Hey, stay with me, buddy. What's your name? Hey. You gotta stay with me.
You're static 10-9.
Chest seal applied. Gunshot wound to the abdomen. Another gunshot wound to the right leg.
Yes.
Okay, one to the abdomen, one to the right leg.
High and tight, high and tight. Hey, buddy, come on, man. Stay with me. Stay with me. Come on. Hey, hey, come on. Breathe. It's all right. Breathe.
Keep breathing.
You gotta tell me where else you're shot, okay?
Hey, did they give us?
Just a forward, Chevy Equinox. Yeah, to the... Says that the people still in the parking lot occupied currently by black female lift in this side of the car.
So we gotta find that car, is what we gotta do.
Yeah. Horse, please. It's in this lot somewhere. We need to get eyes on that vehicle. Silver. Dispatch can go one more time with that vehicle.
Definitely running away from us.
Yep. Yeah. We got eyes on him right now in the store. He's gonna be running towards the pharmacy side. He's got like a black, he's got yellow stripes on the side, all black shirt, all black male. He's running up the east entrance right now. The eyes on him. He's got a gun. Stay back. Stay back. Southwest.
Two shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired. Coming down. Coming down. Yeah, you must have run.
What's your 20, please?
I need more units here. More units here. Okay, you're at the Equinox, but are you out at the FD with the Q subject? Do you have the subject on the FD?
Got the Stop me! Stop fucking talking about room! Just get an ambulance here, please. He's cuffed up. We're still medical.
Okay, thanks.
Is the gun? Where's the gun? Where's the gun?
He had it in his hand when he came to the cursor.
Okay. Where's the gun at?
security, if we can get MSU or somebody, please. Taser right there.
That's a taser! That's a fucking
Yes. Yeah, 10-4. Bring the medics in, please. Hey, guys.
235. We're gonna be in the
She's gotta have that gun.
Yeah.
Is he shot?
Hey.
Is he shot?
Come over here.
Oh, shot!
Come over here.
No,
Check her for a gun. Check her for a gun.
I don't have no fucking gun! What do you mean? That's because he shot up for no reason! Well, maybe it's okay! He shot up for no fucking reason! He didn't have no fucking gun! What do you mean? You got checking me for what?
Stop. Just relax.
I don't have no fucking gun, bro! Don't touch me! Cause I'm not gonna shot up for no reason! What do you mean relax? I'm not supposed to relax when he shot up for no reason! Bro, give me my baby, dog! Dog, get him shot up for no
You
reason!
need to sit right here. You're not free to leave yet. You are not free to leave. He was running back to this vehicle, okay? And that's where you were at. Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
He didn't have no gun. He didn't have nothing on him.
Okay,
And y'all shot him for no reason.
That's what the officer saw, so you need to stay here. You're not free to
I'm
leave
about
at
to
this
send
time.
the car.
You are not free to leave.
I got my baby. I'm about to put him in the car.
Yeah, we're good.
Do you guys need anything right now? Do you know where that pistol is at?
He had it like
Get
on.
it into the car.
I couldn't see, man. I just saw him with it.
Okay. Okay. We just need scene security. That's it. We just need scene security. Hey, there's a pistol outstanding too somewhere.
I'm shot him for no reason.
I got the gun. Gun's here. You got gloves? Can you actually hold this? Hold this. I'll grab it. Get ready to get into this.
I got it.
Okay. Pistols underneath there. Just watch for spent casings. Yeah, watch for spent casings too. Right now.
635.
Watch it. Muzzle's pointing right at you. Gotcha. Okay. You got it.
We're gonna get
Did you shoot? No, did he? I don't know. I just heard shots fired on the radio. You got one more inside there that's kind of loose right now, inside that chamber. And then the... Smith & Wesson pistol. One in the chamber. We don't know how many are in the magazine yet. Underneath this vehicle right here, which is a Volt. West side of the Freshmeyer parking lot.
Yeah.
Again, the timeline of this incident, at 6:36 p.m., the officers were dispatched to the scene at the Meyer store at the 1350 Westlake Lansing. At 6:43, the officers arrived at 1350 Westlake Lansing. At 6:46 p.m., shots fired was called out to dispatch by ELPD officers. At 6:47 p.m., medical attention was given to the individual by the officers on scene. And at 6:52 p.m., East Lansing Fire Department arrived and took over medical care of that individual. Thank you.
At this point, we can take questions from the media. We will be selecting people who put their hand up to be recognized to come forward to the mic to ask your question, and then we will come forward to try to answer those questions for you.
I have a few questions, one of them being, why did it take 10 days to get the video released?
That's an excellent question. As you can see, we had numerous amounts of footage that we had to redact to keep this investigation as fair as impartial to all the parties involved, and plus gathering the information from Meyer video also. So the amount of time it deals with the actual putting this together.
And then I know last week was when we had the Police Oversight Commission meeting, and that's when the deadline was given. And at that point, you had not seen the video. So now that you've seen it, what is your reaction to what you saw?
It's disturbing that we had to have a situation with one of our community members. And so we were doing our best to investigate as fair as impartial to all parties involved. And we're going to do our best, and that's why Michigan State Police is taking over this investigation.
And then I know at that meeting you mentioned that you wouldn't mention, or you wouldn't release the officers' names. Has that changed? Are you going to do that, or is it going to be after the investigation, like you said
That's
before?
correct. It's going to be after the investigation and after the Attorney General reviews the case once they get it.
Okay, and then I want to make sure, so when, well, I mean, we clearly saw him, but when the young man was shot, he didn't have, a gun on him. I mean, it looked like it was,
That's part of the investigation that Michigan
Okay.
State Police is conducting.
Okay.
Hello, Sarah Lear, WKAR. During the police commission meeting last week, several of the commissioners wanted an investigation into whether the original 911 call was a part of the city's biased police calls ordinance, whether that was affected by that. Are there plans for that type of investigation?
At the current time, while Michigan State Police is conducting their investigation, we are actually, as I mentioned earlier, we're reviewing our own policies and procedures that pertain to this particular case.
So I would gather from that if there is going to be that type of investigation, it would happen after MSP's investigation concludes?
That's correct.
Was there any security footage from inside the mire?
The camera footage that we have that we showed today was from the exterior, and the Captain Pride, I'm not too sure there's video from inside the store. I'm not too sure if Captain Pride had that or not.
Yes, I can answer that question. There is video footage from inside the store as well. The best footage, though, however, comes from the body cam videos.
Got it, because it seemed during the press conference there was footage inside the store, but it was body cam video, but you're saying there's also security footage
Correct.
inside the mire. Is that something that East Lansing officials have looked at, and what does it contain?
Well, as part of the investigation, this is obviously Michigan State Police's investigation, so having them review it first. When it comes to the administrative inquiry at some point, that will then be reviewed, as well as seeing if there's an issue within policy here.
Gotcha. I guess I'm wondering why show the parking lot security footage, but not the indoor security footage?
The inside footage is going to show exact same what the body-worn camera footage is going to show.
What is the status of the man who was shot? Is he currently in the Ingham County Jail still, and what's his medical condition?
He has been released from the Ingham County Jail. I was notified that the other day, and I don't know his status of any of his medical condition right now.
Based on the video footage, how many officers fired shots? Was it one or two officers who fired shots?
That's part of Michigan State Police's investigation. They will do their investigation and conclude that. And when their investigation is complete, then we will conduct our administrative inquiry and look into that information.
And just to clarify, because we we saw, multiple body camera videos, and they had different numbers. Were those numbers all representing different officers, or were they just video taken at different times?
They are different officers, yes.
Gotcha. And so my understanding is that there are 2 officers on leave. So are there other officers who responded to the incident who are not on leave, and why the decision about who to place on leave and who not to place on leave?
That's part of the investigation that's currently underway. There are 2 officers that are on leave, but that's the other parts that deals with the investigation that MSP is conducting.
Or I guess what was the criteria for placing 2 officers on leave if more than 2 officers responded?
That was just my decision at that particular time, from what I understood at the time of the call.
And what influenced that decision? Were the officers more actively involved in some way, or what was their
They were more
role?
actively involved. That's a good way of putting it.
In what way?
But I'm just leaving that to the investigation piece. There are two on administrative leave at the current time.
Have you listened to the original call? Because I know that the dispatcher was played, but not the person who called into the dispatcher. Have you listened to that call, and are officials planning to release that?
That property belongs to the 911 center of Ingham County. From the caller into the dispatch center, we showed the dispatch call to our officers. That's what we have access to. But I did not listen to any caller into the dispatch center.
In one of the last videos, we saw that there was a gun that was found, I believe, under a vehicle.
That's correct.
Based on the video footage, based on what you've seen, had that gun fired any shots?
I have no idea, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mike Lynn, America 20 to Life. You had mentioned that this investigation will be turned over to the AG. Shall it be turned over, or it may be turned over? I know that MSP, if they find something, turns it over to the AG. Or are you saying that it's undoubtedly going to be turned over?
We're going to turn it over one way or the other. They're going to turn it over.
Okay.
Shall.
And then you said that you were reviewing policies. Which policies?
There are a number of policies that we work under on an everyday basis, and the policies range from how we drive our vehicles, media releases, and things like that. So we are going to be reviewing all of our policies that pertain to this particular incident.
So every policy that you just named has anything to do with the actual incident. So are you investigating the actual?
We're going to be reviewing all the policies, and some of the policies that deals with directly with the shooting. Those policies will also be reviewed. Yeah.
What crime was being investigated? Do we know?
I do not know that, sir.
The ordinance that the commission had spoke about last week about the calling in reference to, I don't know any other way to say it, but inequitable, like the calling because a black man did this thing. And there was the caller in the investigation, the conversation surrounding the investigation into that caller. Has that started, or where's the process of that?
That has not started yet, to my understanding.
Do you intend to open that investigation?
We're going to look into that as is what that. We were talking to the commission. I think they meet again on Monday, so we'll talk to them about that. But all of our investigations can actually occur. We can look policy review right now, but any kind of investigation, we would like to wait until after the end of the Attorney General's review of the case.
Is there any concern that that individual not being addressed with that implication could make this same call again tomorrow?
I can answer that question.
I guess the question I'm asking is if this behavior has not been touched on and it's not been known to be something that's wrong, this could be an incident that you could have tomorrow, or you're not concerned about that?
And that's a situation, I think that's more dialogue in the future with us and the Ingham County Dispatch Center, reference what that is, and reference they knowing what our local ordinances are, things of that nature.
And then is there a duty to see a gun or have a gun? So I'm guessing this question goes towards your,
policy.
Your response, the policy on responding to seeing a gun. Is just hearing gun enough in your guys' policy? I'm asking you a policy question that stands today. Is that enough to fire on someone?
Actually, that's a great question, sir. Reference, but the policy discussion is actually going to occur after the investigation.
What I'm not asking specifically to this case, I'm asking your policies that are on the books now with your rules of engagement for the police department now, for your individuals that are out in the streets. Is it policy for them to just hear gun, whether it comes from a police officer or from a bystander, to return fire on this person that they were.
Yep, and we'll talk about policy and training at a future date.
What would be a usual response for that call as far as your policy on response? Meaning, you know, if we have somebody that fell down and bumped their head, we would send just one ambulance to go check that out in the fire department. We wouldn't send an engine, a truck, and a battalion chief or something like that. So for a call like you got, what's the usual response that you would want to dispatch out?
Uh,
You know, that's an excellent question, because that's one of our policies, asking how do we respond to certain calls of service, and that's going to be one of these policies under review.
So I guess
there's different levels of response to different types of calls.
Where can we access what's on the books today? Like, what is on the books as of revised as of 5/5?
Great question. I think it's on the city's website or the police department. There's two websites there, and then you can have access to those policies to review at your convenience.
I watched that video, and it got me really extremely emotional, right? When I seen the officer who had just heard verbally that there was a gun, took cover, backed up, and then almost in like in a SOCOM game type fashion, kind of camped behind a car, and then when he seen a person come through, it was an immediate bang. And I just think that it could have been anybody. How was your reaction when you seen that piece of that? And I'm talking about your physical and emotional reaction to that part of it. Is this as disturbing to you as it is to the public?
Sir, it's extremely disturbing. Anytime we have never had a situation like this in the history of our police department. Anytime our police officers discharge a weapon, not outside of training, is extremely disturbing.
And you also said that he had not been charged with a crime, and I believe that prior at the commission meeting, the conversation was surrounding a probation violation. Is that not a thing anymore?
That's something totally separate from this particular incident.
Got you. Thank you.
Thank you. This one gentleman over there.
These officers have been on the department for a couple years, around the time that the Oversight Commission was in place. Can you kind of talk about the training that these officers had to do on de-escalation and stuff like that?
Well, and there's a future discussion on training, but we have training for all different aspects of policing, this de-escalation, use of force, things of that nature, engaging with our citizens, things of that nature. So we have a long list of training stuff that they have to complete on a yearly basis, and sometimes 3 or 4 times a year. So we can talk about this. We can talk about particular training and policy stuff at a future time.
But do you know if these officers have gone through something since this commission was created?
I don't know, touch you with this. We all are on regular schedules of being trained on all aspects of our policing responsibilities. And I think the commission got up and running in the fall. I'm not too sure where our training cycle is, but we've all been trained on our regular cycle. I'm not sure where the timetable is with that.
Thank you.
Yep.
We can take one last question from the media if there's any remaining questions at this point. Let's this gentleman to get a chance to ask one.
Sorry, I'm still streaming. Community reporter with the Family Soup TV. I just had a question. What kind of racial bias training is there for the East Lansing Police Department? Is there any?
We've had continuous racial bias training. Prior to my arriving, I arrived in 2020. They've been having training throughout since 15 or 16, from my recollection. And we're continuing to move forward with our capacity building when it comes to dealing with people who are not like, our community members who we represent and serve.
Okay, and is it normal for the East Lansing Police Department to shoot a black man in the back while he's running from the police, or?
That is all part of the investigation piece.
All right, thank you, that's it.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your time, appreciate it.
You had one last question, and everybody would be happy. We're going to leave like that. Just one last question.
Go one more question.
Again, America 20 to Life. My question was for, I guess, the city manager and the mayor, as well as the chief. But I understand the conversation surrounding waiting till the end of the investigation, but what I don't understand is the concern that I have as media, but also as a community activist and somebody out here in the community, and our people and our kids that are out here. Is there no concern at all from all of you sitting here that this could happen tomorrow, given the fact that you recognize you have policies that led up to this that we're waiting for months out to change? And I guess that's a question for anybody who wants to answer it, but I would love to hear all of your all's concern. Given the policies that led up to this, I mean, obviously we had more cars than should have been there for a call that was no crime committed. We also had an agitated response where it seemed as if we were actually coming to a robbery in progress. If those policies aren't addressed today, are you not concerned that tomorrow you could have the same situation? Or are we leaving it to they should know better?
Well, at this point, we're doing an independent investigation for the Michigan State Police, and we've got to await the outcome of that investigation. And a big point of the transparency is releasing all the video. This video is going to be available, all of it, on Dropbox, so people can look at it right after this. They can take out jump drives here, and I encourage you to go back and look at the video.
It's not a question for me in that aspect. The question is, with these policies, as a chief and as a city manager, I know that the policies we have on the books led to this process and this situation happening, and I'm not addressing those for months out. Am I concerned? Are you guys having meetings with people and going over the things that happened? For instance, this would be a definite good moment for a Monday night quarterbacking and saying, look at the things that we did wrong here so that tomorrow's shift, we don't have the same incident. Are we having those discussions, or is it just like everybody just came to work on Tuesday like it was just a day?
Everyone is taking this very seriously, and we have to await for a full investigation from Michigan State Police.
Thank you.
That's the point we're at. Thank you.